Well, you wouldn't know it by looking at them, but these are the types of boats that are capable of bringing down an oil supertanker, or maybe even an American warship. Because Iran has retrofitted ships like these to be able to lay underwater mines. 1/5 of the world's oil flows out from the Middle East. It's serious enough to have caused the US military to change course. From the president, 2 days later, an update from CENTCOM that now they're not just targeting mine-laying ships, they're also striking factories and warehouses where these mines are made and stored.
Welcome to Partisan Pulse, where we break down the biggest political moments and expose what the headlines leave out. Today, we're talking about a silent threat that could cripple global oil supplies, send gas prices skyrocketing, and drag America into a conflict our leaders clearly aren't ready for. This is about your wallet, your commute, and the stability of our nation.
The world's most critical waterways also happens to be one of the easiest to disrupt. That's because of what you can see very clearly from up high, which is that it is incredibly narrow, a tight 2-lane shipping route, one way in, one way out, with very little room to navigate, and its entire length under the thumb of Iran, effectively its entire southern border. What's less obvious is how shallow the water is in the Strait and the Persian Gulf, only a few hundred feet deep, which, when you take all of these things together, is what makes mines in this choke point so effective. Iran is estimated to have thousands of underwater mines in its arsenal. In 2019, the US Defense Intelligence Agency put that number at more than 5,000, just its inventory, not counting how many more it might make. 5,000 including contact and influence mines.
But here's the part no one is saying. 5,000 mines? That's an entire ocean of potential chaos. This is a strategic threat designed to overwhelm. Think about the resources needed to clear just a fraction of that. We're talking billions of taxpayer dollars, not to mention the risk to our naval personnel. Every one of those mines is a potential economic bomb waiting to explode, and guess who pays for it? You do. You pay.
Contact mines are the ones you typically see in movies. Those big spiky balls moored to the seafloor by chains, made buoyant with a pocket of air, and positioned at just the right depth to make contact with the underbellies of the ships you're targeting. These are very cheap to make.
Mines in general are very cheap. Contact mines, especially so. We could be talking about costs in the low thousands of dollars, and they can inflict millions of dollars in damage.
Wait, what? Thousands of dollars to inflict millions in damage? That's not how we operate. This is the definition of asymmetric warfare, where a low-tech, low-cost weapon can bring a superpower to its knees. This is where it gets serious. Every dollar Iran spends on these mines is multiplied by 1,000 in potential economic disruption and repair costs for us. This isn't just about ships, it's about global trade, insurance premiums, and yes, your gas prices. You pay.
Now let me show you the contact mines Iran is known to make, the Maham 1. There are several in the series, but they all work the same way. You can think of them as smart mines. These can be planted right into the sea floor where they listen, ready to detonate. They make noise, they displace water, they change the water pressure around them. And so these smart mines have sensors that detect these things. And once they've found a target, they explode. And depending on the mine, it's not even the explosion itself that breaks the ship. It's the rapidly expanding bubble of gas. It can literally break a ship's backbone in two.
And what it does is actually pick the ship up and then drop it. And what that could do is actually break the keel, break the hull. It'll cause massive shock damage through the vessel. It is the most dangerous way to damage a ship. It's probably the one that most fear.
That's measurable. That's documented. And when a supertanker carrying millions of barrels of oil gets its backbone broken, the environmental and economic fallout would be unimaginable. If this kind of breakdown matters to you, this is exactly what we do here. Hit that subscribe button and join the Partisan Pulse community, because we're committed to exposing the real threats and the real costs to America.
The problem with mines is it can be deployed by almost any platform. And the concern you have is small speedboats, which can carry, up to a few mines and deploy them. maybe more ominously, fishing boats, which kind of blend in out there, having sailed through the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. Fishing boats are everywhere, and they don't always fly a flag for what nation they belong to. Small coastal vessels can be out there. You can use commercial vessels to do this. You can potentially drop them by helicopters, aircraft, and maybe even free fall rockets or missiles.
Pay attention to this. Deployed by almost any platform. This isn't just about military vessels. It's about a complete loss of control over detection. Fishing boats, commercial ships, even helicopters. This means Iran can sow chaos with absolute deniability and minimal effort. How do you patrol an entire Gulf against every single fishing vessel? You can't. This is a nightmare scenario for maritime security, and it means our traditional defenses are almost useless against this kind of shadowy threat. Loss of control.
The US could try to sweep the water for mines, but that's not only very difficult, it's very time-consuming.
It will take weeks, if not months, if there is an active minefield in the Persian Gulf, because you cannot do that under enemy fire. You have to do that under at least some form of ceasefire. Then you can operate a mine clearing operation.
And literally, if you don't find them, that's not always the most comforting thing, because maybe you've missed them.
Weeks, if not months, to clear a minefield, and you can't do it under enemy fire? That's on the record. This isn't just a logistical challenge, it's a strategic paralysis. If we're forced to negotiate a ceasefire just to begin clearing, Iran wins. And the scariest part, if you don't find them, you've missed them. That's the ultimate admission of uncertainty. Our military, the most powerful in the world, can't guarantee a clear path when faced with this kind of hidden, persistent threat. This is a critical vulnerability that directly impacts our economic lifeline. They don't know.
And so the US is confronted with this very familiar problem whenever it faces weaker opponents. And that is, as with open combat, the US is powerful enough to win.
Biggest challenge of mine warfare is the plethora of unknowns. It's unclear how many mines are in the water if you haven't observed them being moved or dropped. It's unclear where the boundaries of the minefield are. Is it even a distinct minefield, or mines just distributed over a wide area? Then where the mines are specifically, of course, is deliberately a mystery.
It takes a grand total of 0 mines to create a minefield. It's just the threat of a mine requires you to go in and begin sweeping.
0 mines to create a minefield? Iran doesn't even need to lay a single mine to achieve its objective. The threat alone can bring global shipping to a halt, costing us billions and triggering a massive energy crisis. They have us exactly where they want us. Iran's low-cost, high-impact mine strategy holds the world's oil supply hostage, leaves our military scrambling for answers, and directly threatens your financial stability. We need leadership that understands these asymmetric threats and has a clear, decisive plan, not just reactive strikes. Stay vigilant, stay informed. We'll keep exposing the truth here on Partisan Pulse. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more unfiltered political analysis.